This is really important too, because I have to sometimes take a ruler to people's hands about like just throwing data on the page. The host of this actually makes it clear why this data matters. This is the fastest growth new business ever. So again, anytime you throw numbers, it has to be the biggest, fastest, somethingest. It can't just be a number. It has to be like, what? That's mind blowing. Like it's something about that number has to be unreasonable. Okay. The Economist wrote a feature story. The number of new businesses in America is booming. I don't think I'm going to take these quotes. Now I'm going to back up another round for you. Okay. When it comes to proof, people, there's a couple things that people do wrong. Just dropping data, first off, doesn't work. Over-explaining, bad juju. Don't do that either. The other thing I see is just rampant. I almost could call this quote porn, where they just be grabbing quotes. Like if they want to prove a point, they never do any showing. What they do is they have their claim, and then they Google that claim, and they grab 3 quotes, and they say, oh, objection, claim, proof, benefit, right? And then they put an imagine section underneath the 3 quotes. The problem with quotes is the same problem as you just telling me the information. Quotes are telling, except you're just having a third party do the telling. It's just telling. Quotes cannot just stand on their own as pieces of proof a lot of the time. They have to be contextualized. They have to be in conjunction. They work together with something here. So he just said, he just showed you the chart. He frames it as the fastest thing ever, and then he brings credibility and support. Like other people have noticed this too. Okay, so the reason I'm saying all that, I don't know that I will take this quote for my research doc. Do you understand what I mean there? Like this is a Google search. Anybody, you don't need this in a swipe. I don't feel like that's something I might change my mind about this in a week or two, but it's kind of like the prioritization I'm giving to like what goes in my doc over here. Okay. Wow, that's great news. Most Americans would find that shocking. This isn't covered by mainstream news at all. All you hear about is the hardship caused by COVID. Ed, I wouldn't go so far as to say the media is lying, but they're misleading you. Okay. There are classic elements of copy that the copywriter here is utilizing that don't necessarily fit with the beats exactly as the way that I explained them. But he checks the boxes in probably more of a 10 questions of Aldo 16-word sales letter sort of style. Like this does answer sort of, I guess, the what's holding me back, maybe, who's to blame, those kinds of questions. So it's kind of interweaved, though. What I do appreciate about this problem section is the way he interweaves proof. This is something I was talking about earlier during my rant about the execution of the negative still needs to be positive, right? So watch how this goes. They're telling one side of the story. Truth is, COVID did disrupt millions of businesses. I feel for everyone who is struggling. But just like every big economic shock before it, it unleashed a new boom a boom in fast-growing businesses, a boom in smaller, fast-growing stocks. Okay, so he ties it to what he wants to tell you about today. But he also takes that problem, ties it back to this idea of how is this possible? Big economic boom. So in the context of the super problem that the media is lying to you, holding you back, he already hits you with 3 big pieces of proof that are explosive, right? So he keeps that positive. A professor from Wharton recently admitted what surprised us is the boom has been so quick. When I see the facts laid out, it makes sense. Fast-growing tech stocks have been strong, even though the flow of news has been so negative. So again, instead of now check it out. Here's what you have to think of it. It has to be opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. An on-the-nose copywriter would do this. The media is lying to you. Here's some things that they said, and they'd grab headlines where the media said things were bad. And the copywriters say, but things are actually good. Look at this chart. So it kind of has a bit of segregation there. But what he did is he came out straight and be like, the media is lying to you. Just look at all the good, right? There's one thing here that this is a little bit trite. It's a little bit overplayed in my opinion. The bottom line is the mainstream news has zero interest in helping you make money in the markets. They're interested in helping themselves make money by selling ads. So they exaggerate scary stories and push America's emotional buttons. When it comes to investing your hard-earned money, you can't afford to listen to them. Instead, listen to what the experts are saying. Okay, so that argument of the media just wants to make money selling ads, it feels tired if you've been in this business for a long time, but it works. I remember thinking of this, like even in my couple months at Agora Financial, like I was still a newbie, and I was like, wow, every time I reach page 9, we're always saying the media is lying. And it just says that every promo. Does anyone ever get bored of that? No, they never get bored of hearing the media is lying to them. And the thing is, the media is always lying to you, so it's always true. So that's one of those things, like it's not your fault line. It just always works. It hits your brain, and your brain is dumb and like primitive. So it just works. This always works. So one thing I want to point out is this little bracket over here. Doesn't spend forever on this. And I think this note brings clarity to what I was just trying to say when I said he doesn't spend forever on this. What he doesn't do is he doesn't prove what's the word? Is it ad hominem? Like he doesn't just prove forever and ever that the media is lying to you. That's what I was saying earlier. A writer who's on the nose would take all the time to prove this is real. Like the media is indeed lying to you. It's like, dude, now we don't want a whole section of you being like, all right, pause the sales argument, pause everything about small stocks exploding because there's a big shock. First, I got to prove to you the media is lying. And I think that's a misprioritization that greener copywriters often make, is they pause the actual sales argument that we're here to make so they can have that correct, well, this piece of copy, this time to talk about this. And he doesn't do that here, so that's good. Okay, and Nick's saying, we're confirming suspicions. Yes, I think that's a good way to put it too. That kind of sums it all up in 2 words. We're confirming their suspicions here. We're just agreeing with them. We don't need to sit here and have a whole dissertation on it. So he doesn't spend too much time on it. And he says, instead, listen to what the actual experts are saying. So he set it up with 3 gains, and now he's going to pivot right back to his sales argument. He's not going to spend a whole 3 pages of copy. He's not going to explain the media lies and this is how they lie. He's not going to, and I always make fun of like the inflation argument in a sales letter, because that was like a dark time in our copy team's history, where I received like 3 or 4 sales letters that all explained to me over the course of several pages how inflation comes to be. And it was like, it didn't necessarily support the sales argument. It was like a pause to educate. But see how this goes. It doesn't let us go too far away from the sales argument before it says, instead, listen what the actual experts are saying. And they're pretty much saying the same thing. COVID accelerated tech innovation and business growth to a degree we've never seen. Okay. What's up, Copy Squad? I hope you found that useful, and if you'd like to actually join our private conversations in full and get some of this actionable advice for your copy or business, I invite you to check out copysquad.net/join. Here you can sign up for our highest, most exclusive level group, the Copy Squad Inner Circle. Every week we alternate between 2 types of live meetings to keep our conversation fresh around copy and continually grow our skills together. So one week we take member submissions and questions and we go over user copy, and then the next week we'll do sales letter breakdowns of top tier 7- and 8-figure sales letters by some of the best copywriters and businesses in the game. So that rotates every week. One week we take submissions, the next week we do a sales letter breakdown. These calls are attended by myself, my current writing team, and even some of my previous writers are also regulars on these calls. So there's top tier talent attending all of these calls. We also have a brand new Slack channel for members to share ideas, their copy, experiences, insights, and keep up with our program announcements. So all you got to do is go to this page, copysquad.net/join. Choose whether you want a yearly or monthly membership, and then you can have access to one of the highest performing, most elite copy groups on the planet. Thanks so much for tuning in, and peace out, Copy Squad.